people to take your advice, especially during a nationwide measles outbreak, a disease we had basically eradicated before anti-vax nonsense staged a comeback tour, and families refused safe vaccines because of your fear-mongering. And after childhood immunization rates drop below the levels that allow us to have community immunity because of the lies that you helped normalize, so now when lives are on the line again, you want to play humble? Nope, that is not how accountability works. You don't get to torch the house and then walk away saying, well, I was never a firefighter. Dr. Sloan, can you chime in here?
I'm still just amazed he even finally admitted, don't listen to me. I mean, finally, it was like we were waiting for that moment for him to finally admit that we shouldn't be listening to him. And so he spent decades, right, trying to undermine our trust, the public health. And now he's finally in a position of actual power, and he's backpedaling. He's gaslighting. He's deflecting. But this time, it's not just words. It's policy, guys. It's leadership. It's life and it's death at this point. We can't afford a health secretary who doesn't believe in health, right? We can't afford a leader who shrugs in the face of measles outbreak and says, I wouldn't take my own advice. I wouldn't take my own advice. That's crazy, people. We need science. We need truth. We need courage. Someone that can stand up and have a backbone, if you will. And RFK Jr. just told us in his own words, he is not the one, you guys. So, well, let us be really clear. This is the cost of putting politics above evidence-based science, ego above expertise, and social clout above saving lives. Kennedy moonwalks away from responsibility, you guys. It's kids, the immunocompromised, the frontline workers like me and Dr. Brown who are bearing the burden here. And if you're listening, RFK Jr., please stop. If you are worried about your family's health, you guys, please listen to doctors, not politicians. And for the record, measles does kill, but so can ignorance that is being spread amongst oligarchies. So let's stop spreading both. And now, one of the best statements I've heard all week during this hearing, Dr. Brown, was from Bernie Sanders. Let's roll that clip.
The current healthcare system is broken. It is wildly expensive. It is dysfunctional. So what do we do, Mr. Secretary, to address it? Maybe for a start, we do what every other major country on earth does and recognize that healthcare is a human right guaranteed to every man, woman, and child.
Yep. I mean, kind of never stops. Thank you, Bernie. During open remarks on the 2026 White House budget, HHS Secretary RFK Jr. testified before Congress, echoing a sentiment shared by many Americans. The healthcare system is broken. Senator Sanders agreed, but quickly made it clear it's not just what you change, it's how you change that matters. RFK Jr., a man who's pushed claims like vaccines causing autism and Wi-Fi causing cancer, sat before the same Congress he once promised not to mislead. Now, as the nation's top health officer, his version of reform looks more like dismantling than fixing. And Bernie, in classic form, basically said, you're right about the problem, but your solution, it's a whole other problem. I mean, let me decode that for the American public. Bernie is like the seasoned ER doc in a trauma bay watching a TikTok influencer trying to intubate a patient with a straw, right? Trying to put that breathing hold with straw. Yes, the patient is crashing, but this ain't how we save him. RFK Jr. talks about overhauling the healthcare system. And let's be clear, his idea of reform is tearing down the evidence-based structures that keep people alive and replacing them with vibes, Instagram lives, and medical gaslighting. This is not renovation. It's a demolition with no blueprint. Here's what you need to know. Yes, our system is a mess. Bloated costs, medical debt, underserved communities, and physicians burned out beyond recognition. Yes, We need reform, universal coverage, preventative care, mental health access, and price transparency. But what we don't need? A guy with a history of disinformation at the helm, dropping buzzwords like freedom while gutting public health infrastructure. So while Sanders is right to call out a corrupt, for-profit healthcare model that fails millions of us in the United States, he didn't co-sign RFK Jr.'s fantasy medicine parade. He's calling for Medicare for all, not Medicare for monetization. So Dr. Sloan, we have the diagnosis, but...
Yeah, so we have a terrible diagnosis, you know? I mean, America, we're in bad shape, and I think we all know it. But the prognosis, here's what we need to talk about, is that RFK Jr. is attempting to perform surgery on American healthcare. The system that we know is broken, yes, but this man doesn't have a freaking medical degree. He probably doesn't know a pair of regular gloves versus sterile gloves. And I would question his steadiness under pressure in a surgical situation versus him just sort of winging it under pressure, which is exactly what he looked like he was doing in front of Congress this week. There's no plan. There's no accountability, just his free vibes. The patient, which is the nation, United States, deserves far better. Healthcare isn't a conspiracy theory or even a content strategy for the social media people that are out there trying to wing it. It's human rights. But instead, we're watching this clout-chasing political dynasties cosplaying as doctors while millions suffer the consequences. And people still wonder why Americans don't trust the healthcare system. I mean, Dr. Brown and I as well, we're looking at someone who is an ex-heroin addict turned anti-vaxxer, is now in charge of slashing Medicaid and pushing the so-called autism database that's uncomfortably reminiscent of historical atrocities. And wait for it, he's appointing an unlicensed non-surgeon to the highest medical position in the country, Surgeon General. More like a surgeon in name only. But she didn't finish her residency, Dr. Brown, right? Yeah.
No, she did not.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
have a medical license.
She doesn't have a medical license. So give me a break. No, actually, give us a competent science-based healthcare leader to make this country great again. Just, you know, Americans need more. We deserve better. So stay tuned, you guys. If this is our healthcare trajectory, damn, we're still in the first 100 days or so. The next plot twist might just require a defibrillator, but I'm sure he doesn't know what that is either.
So what do we do, guys? We keep showing up. We keep disrupting because truth is worth fighting for. So thank you for watching. We are Aya, contributors to the Midas Touch Network and proud members of the Midas Mighty. Please subscribe, like, share, and follow for more updates. Bye, everyone.
Have a great week.
Hey, Midas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.